All you need is the plan, the roadmap, and the courage to press on to your destination. Writing should never be an end in itself, and that too when it's out of experience and expertise of traversing the untrodden path blended with latest theory and research. This is the formula for positive and proactive change, a necessity in the exponential age. Daily posts feed into awareness, education, research, and development, documentation, communication, and creating, executing, and managing projects. It can also be used to teach cogent and precise English. It is an evolving knowledge ecosystem, and so is the Daily Post community. How do you use Daily Post? Knowledge is endless. Only imagination is the limit. Let's hear the roadmap from its readers and users. We first have Shri T. Shankar, and he will be looking at how Daily Post will be used for R&D. Currently serving as a consultant, Department of Computer Science and Automation, Department, Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, and actively involved in design and implementation of video surveillance systems for the Indian Institute of Science campus, and also assisting research groups engaged in developing video analytics. He was also involved in setting up of multimedia classrooms and video conferencing facilities on the campus. I call upon Shri T. Shankar to show us the roadmap of the Daily Post.
Very good evening. It's a great pleasure to be here. And the most important thing is that my association with Sri Sanjay Sahay has been for 5 years. And then the most important thing that we have been always discussing is about technology front. So we're always talking about technology to assist the society, mankind. And he always wrote me as an expert. And he said, okay, let us look at bring standardization protocols, and the domain that we chose was video surveillance. So I have been in this field for a long time and also advisor for the police department of video surveillance. And then basically what we see is that non-standardization, no protocols are uniform across the country, and at the end of the day, what's the impact of CCTV surveillance? So who are the stakeholders and the public? Are we getting any much benefit, or it's the technology constraints? Well, the technology constraints are not there. In fact, the CCTV technology is way ahead in the most developed countries, but the way we deploy it, there's something knowledge. We're talking about knowledge, we are lacking this. So, we are trying to bring about a very standard document which talks about how to go about the best practices and how to get the best out of this kind of technology, and seeing that we get a proper video footage, coverage, retention, and that will help crack the case. Now, as the technology is concerned, as I'm going to be talking a little more on the technology front, as we talk about the technical aspect of the surveillance domain itself, many times we feel the present even systems are not properly installed, deployed, and at the end of the day, we get some kind of complaints that we're not able to crack the cases. Why? Poor video quality. And they say the resolution is not good, the light is poor lighting, and so many things are happening like that. So we thought, let us look into this. So why don't we really explore? So can we do something where the police force can do it? Ultimately, it's not going to happen in the police department because they don't have an R&D. So they turn to academics like us and say, okay, your institution, help us. So this is how we want to evolve some standards, make some protocols, and say, if you want to prepare a good tender document even for a CCTV surveillance, how do you go about it? So this is how I have been associated with Sanjay Sahay, and he was always pushing me, motivating me, and I learned quite a lot of things from him. And then he always creates the problem statement, always comes from me. So as an algorithm developers, we need good problem statements. So the problem statements are there, and we hope, at close interactions with academics, we hope to deliver something. At the same time, the role of the community, as a society. We all talk about surveillance, but police cannot handle everything. So some policy decisions have to be taken, like how the public role for surveillance. So why don't you even think, okay, we all have residents, hotels, malls, and police cannot install cameras everywhere. They cannot have beat cops. So how does the public play a role here? So, in fact, I've been thinking with him. So, every house, a resident itself becomes a watchdog. So, possible that every alternate house have cameras just not to watch their house, but also watch a part of the streets. So, very strategic locations, and which the concerned jurisdiction police station gets obligated when a crime happens. So, you see the amount of infrastructure that we are eliminating when the public cooperate. So, why don't they come forward? Not only protect their own assets, but also the public. So this is one thing you don't need, and as you all know, the major thing technology driving is connectivity, bandwidth, storage. It's just not the cost of the cameras, devices, etc. The operation, management, infrastructure becomes very important. So we have been working on this, and he has always been saying that we need a good practice and how to even prepare a good document, how to prepare even a tender document for a CCTV surveillance system across the country. It has to be something uniform and work very closely on this. I don't take much time, but all I can tell you is that he's a very technology savvy person, and with him I'm also learning and I'm also getting motivated to do a lot of things. I congratulate him on his today's achievement and hoping that we work together and we'll deliver a lot of things. Thank you very much again for giving me an opportunity today.